So I think at this point I should just stop vlogging entirely. So I started this vlog earlier this week. Thankfully I haven't gotten too far into the book yet. Thankfully it's a two-sided thing. Like, I like pinched a nerve or something wasn't popping in my back. And like I could not sit down really very well, and like all like whatever I had gotten like fixed the night before would end up getting all screwy the next day because I was like sitting down and moving around at work. Finally fine now, and I went to go film an update and let y'all know this curse of mine with vlogs recently, only to have the memory card glitch so badly that I had to format it and lose all of my B-roll and the intro that I had. So this is fine. Hey friends, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another 5-star predictions vlog. If y'all saw the intro, the beginning, y'all know what happened to my hard work. It's gone. If you guys don't know what my 5-star prediction vlogs are, I will leave my first one down below for you guys to peruse, and leave the like actual predictions video where I talk about the books more in depth with the synopses and my first thoughts on them in the description below as well. This is the second one, and so in this video I read two books that I've had either on my backlist for a minute that I think will be a 5-star prediction, or something that it has been released within this year. This time around I am doing, for my 2023 release, is The Sun and the Void by Gabriela Romero Cruz, which I am currently reading. It's an adult high fantasy about two young girls who are kind of stuck on differing sides of this like war. I think it's the first book in a series, so I'm interested to see what it's gonna be about. There are like fruit flies in my place. We put a little trap out for them, but there's still one more that's trying. I'm excited to see more about that book. We're following Ava, who is a bastard, and Reina, who is like, I don't know what she is quite yet exactly, but yeah. Interested to see about that because I've heard a few friends of mine, I think a few friends of mine have read this already and they have enjoyed it. So I'm intrigued by that. And the second book, which is my backlisted, which is Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a YA contemporary following a young girl who's currently searching for her friend Monday. And no one seems to be looking for her, and the longer that she keeps trying to look for her, the more people seem to forget about Monday. I have read Tiffany D. Jackson's other book, Grown. I really love that one. Really love that one. So my friend Lisa and a couple other friends actually have been trying to get me to read this one in a minute. I wanted to read this one first just because I am still like on the heels of a reading slump, but I went on my library because I wanted to read the Kindle book before I bought it, just to get the vlog started, and it said, I pulled it up in the clip that I lost. Like, it has I have availability for the audiobook, but I was like, I'm going to be buying the physical copy. On my library it says unknown weight. I don't know what that means. It says that right now they don't, I guess either, my assumption is that either there are too many people borrowing the book that it's so backed up that they're like, yeah, we don't know when you're gonna get this book, or they just don't have the book and people are like requesting the book. So with the amount of people requested for a book that is not there, it is unknown. I don't know. But like I said, I'm about probably like 15 pages into the book, into Sun and the Void. It's interesting for sure, but again, I'm definitely on the heels of a reading slump, like just barely getting out of the thing. So it's been a little bit of a struggle to pick it up. But I do have high hopes. I think tonight I'm going to read a little more, have something playing in the background, and just read and be a little bit of a vegetable. I was going to try and edit a video or a thumbnail, so I might still do that. I can't edit a video actually. I started editing the video yesterday, but my back was hurting me so much that I'm just like, it's not gonna happen. So I will try to finish editing that tomorrow, but have the thumbnail so that way it can go up Saturday or Sunday a day. And then I'm gonna read tonight, and then on Saturday my family and I are going to Sacramento. Just like nothing, not anything particularly exciting. Where I live, it's not there's not the biggest Filipino community, so we don't have a ton of Filipino foods or restaurants out here. So we typically will go to like Sacramento or California, just to like go to like Jollibee because we don't have that here. Go to like Chowking or Seafood City because we don't have that here. So that's kind of the plan, and it's going to be like a good 3 or 4 hour drive, so I'm hoping to just like take a nap because we're leaving pretty early, but also get some reading done. So you'll see some clips of me on my phone, which I haven't done in a hot minute, doing some handy dandy reading while we're driving around. Okay, so I'll update you guys when I read more in the future. I'm hoping to get 25% of the way through the book tonight, which might be a lot, but I think if I just put a really bad horror movie on, or a horror movie that I like have memorized like nobody's business, I can probably just like power through the book. Why do I need a horror movie? Because I don't know. I'll update y'all when we get to a good point and I have started to understand the plot a little more. I'm trying to get a hang on Eva as a character, just because we followed her perspective. We followed Reina for like one or two chapters, and Eva's been kind of the driving force at the moment. So I also have my soda behind me. I've only had one. That one is an old one. That there. And I have some fries, some carne asada fries. I've been hanging around too many white people. I'm not rolling my R's like I usually would. I'm just gonna go read.
It's been a long time. We both fight the same fight, and I'm tired. Turn on the light.
It is now Wednesday. I haven't had a chance to update, and why am I covering this? I have my work polo on, and y'all ain't gonna see where I work. I've had a chance to read a little bit of the book. I'm definitely about quarter of the way through, maybe a little, probably like a third at this point. Things are happening. Things are shifting and changing. It's still just a lot of build up though. So a lot of things have happened. Like right now we're mainly following Reina's perspective. I haven't seen much of Eva in a minute. Right now, I think we are just about to, yeah. So we are switching over to Eva's moment. I do wish that there was a bit more of a balance between the two POVs, because we'll have like we'll have moments where they switch pretty normally. Like it'll be like Reina, Eva, Reina, Eva, Reina, Eva, and then other moments where it's like Reina, Reina, Eva, Eva, and then entire sections where it's just going to be one POV, and it's kind of hard. I don't mind it too much because then we get kind of like attached to the character first before we're switching, and we don't get that whiplash. But then at the same time, when you get really invested in one part of the story, then it's time to switch. Like in a cliffhanger happens, you're switched off to the next part, and then you're just kind of like, well, I was really invested in that, when you can have to like build yourself back up. Is my ice? When you're like in the thick of one story, it switches in the middle of a cliffhanger. Like right now we find something out about Celeste, one of the girls that Reina is like in Reina's POV, and it cuts off and we're switching to Eva. And it's the same thing where like Eva's story will like switch right as something happens, and you're just kind of like stuck in the beginning trying to like pick up pieces and understand what's going on and remembering what happened in the past story, or like in the past couple chapters, to be able to understand what was going on in this in the current chapter. And it's just a lot of like unbalanced jumping, I'd say, but I'm still very interested in the story. I want to see what happens. It's definitely picking up a lot more with the lore and the storytelling, and I think the characters are very fun to read through. Again, it's just that it just feels kind of unbalanced with the POVs, because then you're literally starting from the beginning, trying to figure out what happened like 5 or 6 chapters ago with this person. And like typically I'd be like, yeah, I can forgive it because there's like a bajillion point of views, but this one only has 2. So I'm just sitting here like, well, what do I do now? But that is it for my update. I'll update you guys more probably when I'm reaching the halfway point, which should be pretty soon here. I'll have more video ideas for like more B-roll for y'all. It's just been a weird like couple weeks. Couple days, I'm not gonna lie. There are ants in my place. I don't know how they got here. I don't even know where they're coming from. I see one like strolling my bookcase, and I don't want to kill it because then it'll release pheromones for the ants to come. Then like they're all mainly in my bathroom too, so I don't know if they're coming from I like sprayed a part of the bathroom and like minimize how many there are in the bathroom, but they're still coming out, so I have no.
I'm afraid of the night, and clouds across the line that was drawn and now we're intertwined. We roll down roaring fields. Tell me, is this real? Stand in my doorway, call out to me. I'll keep you a secret if you want, baby. Underneath crying skies.
Alright, it is now Saturday morning. I am actually a little over my schedule for next week. A little over halfway through the book. About this far in. I know it doesn't look like much, but according to my doing math, which is 511 pages divided by 2, I believe it's supposed to be like 277.5 is like halfway or something around there, and I'm at 298. So technically, I am halfway through. At this point, there's probably like a third of the book left, maybe. I can't tell. I'm definitely picking up. We're getting a lot more of like the whatchamajiggers. The things. More of the plot in the world. Not even the plot, but more of like the development. Ava ends up somehow with Javier, and Javier is is Celeste's uncle, and he's a creeper. And I was like, yeah, he's creepy, and Ava's like in love with him, and then he hits her, and then it's just like, oh, okay, see, I was right, he was a creep. And now it's just a lot of things going on. I don't want to spoil too much of it, just because I'm still processing what is occurring right now. It looks like there is going to be some like queer elements of it. I think Reina is like sapphic. I don't know if she's, it seems like she only has a attraction to women, so I believe she's like probably like, if these words existed in this time, in this world, probably like a lesbian. But it's very intriguing so far. I'm realizing now that I didn't really quite understand the difference between a Nazariel, which is what Reina is, and I guess that means that they're like an intelligent bipedal species native to Llanos and the Cauci Coast. They are similar to humans in appearance, distinguishable by their pointed ears, sharp canines, prehensile tails, and scutes on skin, predominantly on the nose bridge, shoulders, elbows, and knees. So it's almost like they're part animal. With prehensile tails, I'm assuming like almost like I would say similar to like Goku with his, because man's got a tail. That's what I'm figuring out. And then the Valko, which sounds like an insult whenever I read it and say it, is an intelligent bipedal species native to the Paramo range. They are similar to humans in appearance, distinguishable by their antlers, the absence of hair melanin, and red pigmented irises. They are of dense bone structure and muscle. So there's like the different species. We have humans who hate both of them. Then we have the Valkos. The humans hate them because, you know, the Nosarios are like not human, and then the Valkos use magic that they deem is like demonic from a different god. Then I think the Valkos don't like the Nosarios. They look down on them, and there was like a whole thing about using the Nazariels as like the frontliners in the war, or was it the Valkos? There's just a lot of like prejudice in this book, and it's just like a lot to unpack and understand, because I don't think it's been fully explained in the book as to why there is this layer of prejudice between the three species. So it's just very difficult. All I know is that both of the main POVs are facing some form of prejudice and discrimination against them for being who they are. And I don't understand where this is stemming from. I mean, by the looks of it, the Valkos and the Nazariels are all kind of pretty like powerful. So I'm always very confused when in instances like this, they're like, you know, they were like enslaved or treated poorly or looked down upon. So, I mean, like they kind of explained why the last like Valko line, which is Celeste's family won't take over, and that's because the humans don't trust them, and they'll just be waiting. They'll like bow to them and like serve them with knives behind their backs, ready to go like jab jab jab. So there's that. But yeah, I'm just trying to process it, and it's not working very well. I'm very confused as to the prejudice, and I feel like maybe I missed something that was explained to me, or maybe I'm supposed to just like accept the fact this is a thing. But I'll update you guys when I probably get to like either 75% of the book or I finish the book. Right now it's probably looking toward because this is like almost 75%, I'd like to say. Maybe like the last third of the book, so probably like around here-ish. You know? So yeah, I don't know. But I'll update you guys whenever which one happens first, or something happens and it freaks me out and I need to say something to the camera. Hello. It is now Sunday afternoon? Morning? Afternoon. It's a little overcasty, so sorry for the lighting. Because where I live, we'll be getting some remnants of Hurricane Hilary. So, also wearing my Taylor sweater that I did not buy on the Eras Tour because the lines, all of the merch lines, wrapped around building. Not worth it. But I am not here to do that. I'm here to update y'all on how far I am in the book, A Stud in the Void. I'm literally I have another 25% of the way through, and I'm just now learning about certain things in terms of like the world building, which is, I'm not gonna lie, a little frustrating. Like, I get it. In some points you can probably pick up what like Bismuto means, what the Iridio does, what Galio is, and the other one. But it was finally like laid out. That's the pizza, hold on. But it's finally all, like all those tiers of magic are finally all laid out, because Ava, who is Valko but has not practiced in years, is finally learning these things. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, I wish I would have learned these things as the book was going on, and not in this like last like 75% of the book. We're also learning more about Javier and his current situation and why he's kind of a creepy asshole. And I guess we're also learning more about like the gods and the different the different like species. There's like a species called the Yaris who were like hunted into extinction because of the Valko and the humans, I believe. So it's just a lot of random little things that I feel like should have been added, sprinkled throughout the book, that should not have been like added in this like final chunk of this book. But I am still enjoying it. It's definitely showing more of the flaws within each character. I'd say like each of them still do have their own motivations and reasons for doing what they're doing, and it's still very flawed. The characters in of themselves have issues and are very selfish and flawed, as I've been saying over and over again, which I really do enjoy. I like that there's not like one set character that I'm constantly rooting for. It's all like variations of like whenever the situation calls for it. And I like it so much. I don't know if it's going to be a 5 stars. I think it's leaning toward like a 4 or a 4.5 at the stands, but maybe when I finish it, something big and dramatic will happen, and I'll feel more inclined to give it the full 5-star rating. That being said, I did today finally go pick up Monday's Not Coming. I'm still kind of upset that my library doesn't have it, or I can't tell if my library does or does not have it. It has the audiobook, but I don't want y'all to be sitting here listening to me like read the book for like a couple hours. But yeah, so I finally have the physical copy of that book, which is great because it should be a 5-star read if Tiffany D. Jackson's works are as great as everyone says. I gave Grown 5 stars. I have a lot of friends who suggested White Smoke who have given it 4 to 5 stars. I have friends who have read Monday's Not Coming who have given it 5 stars as well. So high hopes for that one. But yeah, I'll update you guys when I'm finally done with the book, and I'll wrap up my thoughts and exactly what I think, why I'm giving it that rating as per usual, and then I'll update you guys. Oh, but let me show you guys the books I bought. So aside from Monday's Not Coming, I got the paperback version. My sister was looking through the fantasy, and I was like, I'll just go look at the romance section. You know, it did hurt. It hurt the wallet. I ended up picking up Asher Parker Doesn't Fall, which is like the spin-off. Come on, Overcast, don't do this to me. Which is like the spin-off sequel to Delilah Green Does Not Care. I love Delilah Green, so I'm very excited to see about Asher Parker. I think there's going to be a third one, I forgot what that one is, but oh, there we go. Iris Kelly Doesn't Date. So very intrigued by that one. And the other one is the very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Madana. I've heard really good things about this one. I know it's getting like a sequel, either a sequel or a spin-off. So I'm intrigued by that. But yes, those are the books I bought. I need to stop buying things. I spent so much money this week. Next week's gonna be we stay at home and do nothing kind of week, I think. Alright, but I am now gonna go read and eat food and be merry, even though the storm clouds are looking kind of scary. But look at those clouds. And they're all coming closer.
It's so comfortable, and no one seems to hold me like you do. You're so wonderful. A star could never shine as bright as you. Shine as bright as you. Even the dark days still see light. Even the birds still sing at night. Every word just comes out right when I'm with you, with you. I feel so lucky I met you, and I still can't believe that I get to see those eyes for more than tonight. Swear you must have fell from the sky, and I feel so lucky I met you. It's not logical the way I feel when you.
Alrighty, I have finished the book. Surprisingly, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I think it would definitely be on the lower end of the 5 though. Like, it didn't like blow me away kind of 4.5, like, it didn't blow me away kind of 5 out of 5 stars, but it definitely like crept up on me kind of 5 out of 5 stars. I think it was a very fun and enjoyable book. Yes, very slow at times, but I think it was building up to the bigger problem, which will happen in the second book. Didn't really stop me from picking it up and enjoying it though. However, I will say the biggest portion for me that like probably would have blown me out of the water and kept me like going. I'm sorry. My cat, so my boyfriend is over in Southern California right now dealing with some family stuff. He drove over today this morning, like really early in the morning to kind of beat the storm that's going on. And my cat, Nico, my little gray one, he keeps thinking my boyfriend's gonna be back, so he's just like waiting at the door for him. And it's just very, very depressing. And I think part of my cat thinks that he like abandoned us because my boyfriend was like packing stuff up and leaving like super early in the morning, which he never does, without me, which he never does. And it was while everyone was asleep, which he never does. So it's just like my cat like poked his head out and is just staring at the door. My poor bean. But I think the thing that would have made this a super strong 5 out of 5, blown the water out for me, was that some of the like world building aspects and some of the things could have been explained a little easier and throughout the beginning of the book. Like obviously there's a glossary of terms, there's like the known branches of the magic that they use and all that stuff. But I am a firm believer in that the glossary should be used as a way to reference things. Like if you don't fully understand what a concept is, or if you're for like this thing like event or something hasn't been brought up, or like was only been brought up once and you need to like reference back to it, like when it gets brought up again, like say you saw it like the first 10% of the book and now it's coming up in the next like 50 or so and you're like, shit, I know what it is, I just don't remember. I think that's what it should be used for. I don't think that glossaries we're also receiving some of the storm here, so if you hear things, I don't think that it should be the thing that people reference consistently from the very beginning. You know, I think terms should be explained in the beginning, and then if you need more clarification or maybe you're just forgetting on something, that's what a glossary should be backed up for. Because like fantasy books, it's kind of hard to find a definition in here, especially fantasy books that come up with their own names, their own terminologies, everything in which way. So to me, you know, I know the glossary is there, but to me, I don't know, call me like some kind of like higher uppity person, but I think glossaries shouldn't be the only source of information when a reader is reading and world building. Controversial, I'm sure. I think that was my biggest thing, is that by like almost 75% of the way through, we finally get like an in-depth description of all of the different branches of geomancia, of the history with the different, like, the people. And I get it, some parts of those histories were like a surprise, were like a big plot twist, but like by the end of it, the bad guy was like explaining everything, and I was sitting here like, this feels a little cartoony, and I kind of wish that like our heroes and like our anti-hero that we've gotten in this book so far, or like man with a redemption arc situation, got a chance to really like figure out the problems first before they went in, or like had inklings or like hints as to what was going to happen, rather than this big meetup, this big fight where things start to fall apart then. That's just kind of where I am at, but I did really enjoy it. I think that if you are looking for a really solid beginning to a series where it's set in a world that feels familiar but also not familiar at the same time, and has, I think I would say, newer concepts than what we've seen in previous high fantasy works, I highly do recommend this. It is a 5, so my prediction was correct, but I don't think it was in the, like I said in the beginning, it was the kind of 5 that would have blown me out of the water, that like just took me by surprise, and I never really knew what was coming. You know, that kind where like your breath gets taken away, you're just all clenched up from all the stress it's giving you. It wasn't that kind of 5. It was very much a slow build kind of 5-star, where like I really loved the process of like building this world together and getting the characters, and I loved the flaws in all of the characters and the things that we were given as the book continued, and just wondering what's gonna happen next. But it was definitely like a slower kind of like acquired taste. Like up until the very end, I had a feeling I was going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. That kind of situation. So if you're not in the mood for something definitely on the slower aspect of a high fantasy, probably not the one for you. But if you are interested in this, I highly recommend it. I think my favorite part of this book was the characters, because they were all so equally flawed in their own way. And you can never really like, it almost gave me like Game of Thrones vibes, in the sense that each character had their own motivations and their own end goals, and were all very flawed. And like you would love a character one moment, and then you'd like start questioning them the next, and there was like really no point for you to really truly hate or love a character, because they were just so like flawed and complex from the very get-go. And I just really love that about them. Like I think Reyna is one of my favorite characters from the book, just because she is such a desperate character, but in the best way possible, where she is like, where like something in her gut is telling her no, is a bad idea, but then in her heart of hearts she needs that approval, so she's willing to do the thing. That kind of stuff. But yes, finish the book. I will now be picking up, let me get the cover. I will now be picking up Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. Again, a brief synopsis, because I haven't started reading the book quite yet. I'll probably read it tomorrow. But it is about a young girl whose best friend Monday goes missing. And as like, you know, the kind of like the novelty of her missing, I guess is the proper term, kind of like dies down, like the concern for her dies down, and everyone starts to accept the fact that she might just be, you know, they'll never find her. Her friend is still looking for her. She's still looking for Monday. And as the year goes on, she finds out, she comes to, Sherman. She comes to realize that everyone's starting to forget about Monday except for her. Again, I've heard really good things about this book. I also really did enjoy Tiffany D. Jackson's Grown. one of my favorite books of a couple of years ago. I want to say 2021 or something. I think so, yeah, because I went to Zion that year and I read that book in Zion. Yes. So definitely one of those books that I highly recommend if you guys have not read that yet. I think I have a review of Grown somewhere, so I'll leave that linked if you guys want to check it out. But very excited to read this book. I'll be starting it tomorrow because it's almost 11 and I have to like finish not editing. I have to finish figuring out one more book idea, one more like thing for a video, and then knock the frick out. I am pooped. Well, not really. It's been a weird day, like time-wise. It doesn't feel like it's almost 11 o'clock. But it's almost 11 o'clock. So I'll catch up with you guys when I get a chance to start the book and really get like into the nitty-gritty of the plot. And then we'll go 25, 50, 75 done from here.
Walk in the room. When you walk in the room, it's not optional. How gravity just pulls me right to you. To you. Even the dark days still see light. Even the birds still sing at night. Every word just comes out right when I'm with you, with you. I feel so lucky I met you, and I still can't believe that I get to see those eyes for more than tonight. Swear you must have fell from the sky, and I feel so lucky I met you. Spend my whole life waiting for someone like you, baby, and all these broken roses led to you. Spend my whole life waiting for someone like you, baby, and all these broken roses led to you. I feel so lucky I met you, and I still can't believe that I get to see those eyes for more than tonight.
I swear the picture's not crooked, the camera is. There we go. Better. Okay. So I am about 25% of the way through the book. I didn't even realize I hit 25% of the way until I was like doing the math last night because I forgot to do an update, and I was like, I'm a little over 25% of the way. So here we are. But like I said, I am about that far out. I'm about that far out into the book and I'm really enjoying it. There's definitely a bit of a mystery aspect to the book, I will say. I think right now, I'm trying to, so let me explain this. I don't know if I explained the book in detail quite yet, so I'm explaining that now for a second time or a first time depending on what happened. But Monday Is Not Coming is a YA fiction novel following young Claudia as she returns to school one year and finds that her best friend Monday is not there. She asks around and comes to the conclusion that Monday is missing. She is the only one after a while who is searching vigorously for Monday. I keep wanting to say Friday, but it's fine. For Monday. And then 1 year later, she is learning that everyone is slowly forgetting about Monday. I'm very intrigued to see what is happening because Monday's family is very much still in the picture. You see them in the flashbacks, and it seems like there is like a set timeline. So there is the after, which is 1 year after Monday has gone missing. There is the before, which is the entire year of her looking for Monday, and then I think there's a couple of other moment timelines, which is the before the before, right? I think. Scroll. Yeah, it's like before the before, which is 2 years before Monday goes missing, or 1 year before Monday goes missing. Then I think there is the 2 years before the before. I think. Yeah, so there's 1 year before the before. This is a lot of math. And that is 2 years before Monday had gone missing. So we kind of have these timelines that are kind of confusing number-wise, which I kind of wish it was just like 1 year before. So I'm going to try to rephrase it so it's a little better understanding. After is the 1 year after the fact that Monday has been missing. Before, just plain the before, is the year leading up to the after. So like the year that she's like looking for Monday and trying to figure out what the heck happened to her, or at least trying to figure out where Monday is. Before the before is 1 year before Monday goes missing. So before the year before that summer, where she's like, Monday stops talking to her and she doesn't know where she is. 1 year before the before is 2 years before that, I believe. And basically what all this is doing is just giving us broken down timelines of what could possibly happen to Monday. There are a couple of instances where it's very obvious, where it's hinted at there is some abusive situation. It's possible she was kidnapped because she started dating a boy. It's possible the boy did something too, or maybe that Monday even just ran away. I'm not entirely sure. I'm still trying to figure out the whole before the before, 1 year before the before. Yeah, so it's the titles to the chapters confuse me, because right now I think the after is her freshman year in high school. Before is her in 8th grade. Before the before is 7th grade, and 1 year before the before is 6th grade. Listen, I don't do math well, and I seriously don't do math well in this case. So if someone anywhere can let me know in the comments how the breakdown is supposed to be, I would very much appreciate it. Because like I think I get it, and then I say it out loud and I do not get it. But I am enjoying it. Like I said, there's a lot of like, I don't want to say mystery, but it is very much backed on the fact that you have to piece these timelines together. It gives me a little bit of like Cruel Summer vibes, where you get like 3 to 4 different timelines and you're trying to piece together what happened to the big event and what happened in the downfall of the event. So very interested in that, but again, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. I don't understand the timeline quite now. So, but yes, I'm enjoying it a lot. I'll update you guys back when I get to 50%. I'm trying to do more B-roll for this, but it's just been a really weird week mentally for me, that I'm like, I'll start reading and I'm like, oh right, B-roll, or I start doing something and be like, oh shoot, B-roll. So it's just a mess. It's fine. Yes, I'll catch up with you guys when I get more time to read the book.
I see you dancing with your ghosts. You're the missing piece of my soul. I know it scares you to come out of the shadows, but I'll hold your hand and I won't let you go. Walking there along the beach, waters I have never seen. Scream your secrets to the breeze. I'm the picture on your home screen.
Oh! He did not like that noise it made. Oh, bud. Give him a second.
You think the flow is too fast? Should I lower it?
Maybe. Okay. It is now Saturday. I'm about 75% of Sunday. It's Sunday. Sunday. I'm about 75% of the way through the book. I'm almost done. And I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Because they're saying Monday's, the people are saying Monday's alive, but then there's implications that Monday's not currently alive. I'm just very confused. But I am very, very much enjoying the book. It's definitely keeping my interest. I find myself just really rooting for Claudia as a character and rooting for her success as a character as well. The plot's moving along really nicely, but like I said, I think the struggle that I'm having is that I wish it was like it gave me actual years, like 2020, 2022, or at least like 1 year before, 2 years before. Just so I'm not sitting here like trying to do like mental math as to like which timeline it's at when I'm trying to go through and like figure out where I am. But I definitely do think, unless something happens in the end of this book where I'm just like not into it or don't think it came out of left field, I definitely think this will be a sorry, I had milk. This will be a 5-star read. Definitely a favorite. I mean, also Tiffany D. Jackson as a contemporary like fiction author is like perfect. I really love her writing style. I think this is one of her older books because I think aside from White Smoke, Grown was one of her more recent releases. But yes, I'm very intrigued to see what happens. I'll probably finish it tonight and then we can go from there. So while I fix up my little makeup bag kit that I'm going to be carrying everywhere, where are my scissors? Scissors. Okay. I'm going to talk about the book. Alright, so I finished the book a couple hours ago. I knew what I was going to get into reading the book. I had a feeling that the ending was not going to be like the happiest. On the cover, I mean, Laurie Halse Anderson blurbed it, even added like a little liner here, one line at the top. The beginning, like, it says here, where is it? Her little blurb says, a mesmerizing punch-in-the-gut story about the power of friendship and the horrors hiding in front of us. Then we have a couple talking about the thought-provoking thriller examines issues such as abuse, gentrification, and the marginalization of people of color with nuance and sensitivity. So, you know, it's just a lot of implications that it's not going to be like the happiest of endings, which is, you know, upsetting. Because I think, you know, I would like every book to have like not saying it's not a happy ending. I would say it's definitely like bittersweet. There were definitely a lot of like twists that happened in the last 25% of the book in the best way possible, which is why I guess a lot of people would qualify this as a thriller. I personally don't see the thriller vibes. To me, it definitely read more like contemporary fiction. But I think that's just me and my personal preference on what like a thriller is. It didn't like, I wasn't like, you know, on the edge of my seat like gasping for air or anything, but it definitely had me at the edge of my, like, it had me wanting to read more and wanting to see exactly what was going to happen next and what was going on, and try to figure out exactly what was going to unfold in the story. But like I said, it definitely was not what I would think of as a like thriller. Definitely, I think of it more as a contemporary fiction in my eyes, TBH. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know my my topics very well. I did really enjoy it though. It is a 5 out of 5 stars. Like I said, I had a lot of, like, it's a very engaging read. You really do want to root for Claudia as a character. You want to root for her happiness, her successes, and you want her to just find, like, you know, get everything concluded and wrap everything up in a happy little bow just for her. Just for her. Which, like, in some cases it does wrap up really nicely. I think the ending of the book reflects a lot of, like, the realities of a lot of marginalized groups in these instances. It doesn't make it any less heartbreaking per se, but it does really reflect on the situations that occur within these marginalized groups and the horrors that do occur within the communities, with law enforcement not listening to them when they feel as if young children are missing, families and friends chalking it up as one thing when it's actually the other. It's just, like, you know, a lot of, like, heartbreak and pain. But I think Tiffany D. Jackson did write it in a way, you know, that was not only sensitive to the topic, but really brought a lot of layers and nuance to the story being told. And definitely told it with a lot of respect, I think. Not to say that I don't think Tiffany D. Jackson is incapable of writing stories and respecting the source material or respecting what is actually going on in these communities. but I definitely do think that she wrote it in a way that definitely like I said, brought light to the issue and really just what's the word I'm looking for, contextualized it in a way. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely a 5 out of 5 stars for me. And yeah, I'll probably talk more about my thoughts on it in an actual review, like my wrap up for the month, but I'm trying not to be to include spoilers, because I'm not a fan of spoilers, and it's not meant to be a spoilery kind of vlog. But it was just such a heartbreaking story, and like, you knew the ending, you had inklings as to what was going on, but I think with how you were so invested in Claudia's story, where is my Kindle charging? In Claudia's story, and how you were just rooting for her success and her ability to find her friend, was something that that you let yourself believe what was going on, that you were hoping that you would find her even though all signs point otherwise. It was just one of those stories that I think really it's what you would expect, and like you really had hope that it was going to turn out completely differently than like what your gut was telling you, and what what Claudia's gut was telling her. And to see all the timelines come together and line up, and like the twist that happened at the end was just heartbreaking. And I think the ending was very much deserved for Claudia. I really enjoyed the ending in the sense that it made sense with the story, and it really just lined up with the characters. So it didn't feel forced or anything. It didn't feel like that we were really losing, that the characters were that this was not like an ending that we would have received otherwise. Yes, I definitely do recommend this book to anyone who is in the right mind space. Like I said, it does discuss a lot. Oops, my battery's dying. It does discuss a lot of like abuse and gentrification and the abuse of Black women in general. But I highly recommend it, and I think this is a success. I gave The Sun and the Void 5 out of 5 stars. I gave Monday's Not Coming 5 out of 5 stars, and I'm hoping this trend will continue. Nico! And I'm hoping this trend will continue. My battery's dying, so I can't finish this up, but if you guys like this video, let me know in the comments down below. I do have, I think, 3 more videos left for the end of the year. But until next time, hit like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Battery, don't die me yet. Bye!